What's up? Chester ARP Church Devotional Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We are in Proverbs chapter 5, beginning in verse 1 of Proverbs chapter 5. I think I'm going to try to go through all 23 verses here in Proverbs chapter 5. The entirety of this chapter is a warning against adultery, and I think this is an important chapter for us always, but certainly in the promiscuous world we live in 2025 in the Western world. This is beginning in verse 1 of Proverbs chapter 5. My son, be attentive to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my understanding, that you may keep discretion, and your lips may guard knowledge. For the lips of a forbidden woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is as bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps follow to the path of Sheol. She does not plunder the path of life. Her ways wander, and she does not know it. And now, O sons, listen to me, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Keep your way far from her, and do not go near to the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others, and your ears to the merciless, lest strangers take their fill of your strength, and your labors go to the house of a foreigner. At the end of your life you groan, when your flesh and your body are consumed. And you say, how I hated discipline, and my heart despised reproof. I did not listen to the voice of my teachers, or incline my ear to my instructors. I am at the brink of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, flowing water from your own well. Should your springs be scattered abroad, streams of water in the streets? Let them be for yourself alone, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely deer, a graceful doe. Let her breast fill you at all times with delight. Be intoxicated always in her love. Why should you be intoxicated, my son, with a forbidden woman, and embrace the bosom of an adulteress? For a man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. The iniquities of the wicked ensnare him, and he is held fast in the cords of his sin. He dies for lack of discipline, and because of his great folly he is led astray. Now this is a section that is quite clear. Interesting that Solomon is the one making this recommendation to his son, or offering this wisdom to his son. Be attentive to my wisdom, and incline your ear to my understanding. Go on down, he says, for the lips of a forbidden woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a double-edged sword. Solomon, remember, is the man who had 700 concubines and 300 wives. He was a man who gave himself up to be married in all these various capacities to these different peoples of the lands in order to build these alliances with different nations around him. He had these political marriages and other things. Solomon is the one who is full of adultery and adulterous spirit. He is the son of an adulterous relationship as well. Remember King David and Bathsheba. And King David was enamored by Bathsheba as she bathed on top of the house and the rooftop. And so Solomon comes to be after they're married. Remember, King David and Bathsheba's first child dies, and then Solomon is born to Bathsheba from King David later. But even still, his mother and his father got together in an adulterous relationship. And so it would be odd, in some ways ironic, that he's the one giving this particular instruction to his sons. But I wonder if at the end of his life he has decided he's learned his lesson, that there has been tremendous hardship and difficulty for him as a result of his decisions and a result of his father's decisions and a result of the situations in which he grew up and came of age. He says here, listen, do not depart from the words of my mouth. Keep your way from that forbidden woman. It says she is intoxicating. She has smooth speech, and forbidden lips drip honey for you. They're very enticing to you. But he says if you follow in that direction, you will ultimately be led to destruction. There are all kind of consequences that come to those who wander away from the marital relationship that they have with their spouse. And we have significant consequences in our own society. There are formulas that are used in family court proceedings that if one spouse is caught, especially if it's a male caught in adultery with the female and he's the higher wage earner, he has to pay a certain alimony, and there's no way around it. It's the reality. There is a divorce. There is child support, and all those things should be there. They should be in place to protect the family. but also to make people think twice about going in the direction of forbidden love. And so we see that there are consequences all over the place. Not only that, but there are just significant consequences for the family and for the person, etc. And so he says, you're going to fall in for that moment. But then once you fall into that moment, it's going to cost you significantly on the backside. And I think that's one of those things that we have to all understand. Doesn't mean it's easy to withstand those temptations, but it means that we have to understand that, in the words of Luke Combs, tomorrow me is not going to like what happened tonight. And so it's one of those deals where Solomon says, don't despise discipline, don't despise self-discipline. Stay faithful, remain faithful, and delight in the blessings that the Lord has given to you in your wife of your youth, your husband of your youth, and your family of your youth, and trust the Lord through it all and find the wonder and the majesty of the glory of God in it, and you will live a blessed life because it is blessed in the Lord to delight in the ones that he has given to you and to live a self-disciplined life. And it's interesting that Solomon says there's blessing in that delight, but also there's consequence in those decisions. And the book of Proverbs is about wisdom, making the right decisions to walk in the right paths and receiving the blessings that come along with it and avoiding the consequences that come along with going in the paths of unrighteousness or the path of the world. You guys take care. God bless you. A sobering reality, but certainly an important point for us every day as we learn to follow him as we walk in the ways of truth. You take care. God bless you. See you next time.